Welcome to Integrative U Radio, where we challenge everything conventional medicine forgot to tell you. I'm Dr. Nicole, joined by Dr. Nick, and this is the show for the black sheep families that look at life differently. We're not here to tell you what to do. We're here to open your eyes to new perspectives and new ways of thinking. Now, let's get into it.
Yeah. Feel that? The sound of possibility.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Integrative U Radio. You're getting a little raspy version of myself. Oh my gosh, it's really bad. But here we are. So if
There's
you're
no
on,
such thing as perfect. There's no such thing as perfect.
Yeah, the reason why my voice is raspy is its own podcast in itself, going through my own personal healing journey on many levels. But one of our topics we're bringing you today has gotten us a little fired up more recently, but definitely over the years, is this idea of biohacking. I think that biohacking, I get the idea. There's aspects of the idea that I like, be your best self, when it's positioned in that way of biohack yourself so that you can be the best version of yourself. Okay, cool. I'm into it. But I think that it's gone too far in one direction, and it's now perpetuating there's always a problem. And, do we all have problems in different phases of life? Of course, it's great for us to want to solve those problems, but to think that you can't pause in the journey, or you can't integrate what you've already done. And then on top of it, I think the biggest problem with biohacking is that there's always this grandiose new product or protocol. And obviously you guys know that we're very big on integrative protocols. But the thing is that it's siloing out the one new thing, the peptides, the new technology, the new, cryo, whatever it is. And it's saying this, where has this been? This is solving so many problems. This is solving so much chronic illness. But my biggest problem of all the things that I just said is that this is still rooted in the exact reasons why conventional medicine is failing. It's rooted in instant gratification. So people are becoming biohackers.
Short-term pleasure, long-term pain.
This is going to do it. I don't have to do the integrative protocol. I don't have to fix my mindset. I don't have to work through all the trauma and all the shit that I burrowed. I don't have to do that because now there's peptides. Now there's this one plant medicine that's going to crack me open and heal all my pain. Guys, that's not how it fucking works. If anything, you might be opening yourself up to bigger problems that you can't even integrate in any capacity. So we're here to be the voice of reason, of fucking cut it out with this idea that just because it's more on the wellness side, that we can go back to, I want it now and I want it quick and I want it fast.
The voice of reason is not always sexy. Hence, both Nicole and I are doing. Hence, both Nicole and I are doing some things right now to not sound and not feel so sexy. But that's the process of, you want short-term pleasure, you're going to have long-term pain. We're consciously creating some short-term pain to have, quote unquote, more of that long-term pleasure. But I just want to go back to something very powerful that you said was, the voice of reason. And it's not your fault. Nicole and I, as intelligent as we are on the integrative medicine side of things, we still every once in a while are like, oh shit, look at that bright shiny object. And it's not our fault. It's not your fault. That's how we're wired. That's how we're wired neurologically. That's how we're wired to think. But that keeps us in a low vibrational state. You said too far in one direction. It's goes, biohacking isn't bad or good. It's how you do it. And if you're doing it constantly because you're broken or you're always trying to hit that home run, well, that's too far in one direction. And that's, you look at, well, where else does this play out in life? Well, one of the biggest things that's, what's the word I want to use? The stock market, researched, tracked, is the fear greed indexed. So you're taking that same concept of the mind and the stock market, same things in health. It's like if you're constantly, oh, this is it. I'm gonna make it huge here. Like I'm gonna make all my money. I'm gonna be able to retire. I'm gonna be free. All my problems are gonna be solved. I'm gonna take peptides. It's just gonna be this one treatment, maybe just a couple treatments, and all my problems are gonna be solved. I'm gonna do this one plant medicine. It's gonna crack me open. I may cry. I may shit myself. But all my problems are gonna be solved. Well, guess what?
And then on to the next layer.
The only thing we have in life is going to be a consistent problem. Otherwise, there's no opportunity for growth. And the big thing isn't to be stuck in this fear or greed, but it's to have the awareness of, the journey. And that's why we're integrative doctors, is because life is a journey. It never stops. There's always the opportunity to be better, to vibrate higher, to have a greater amount of self-consciousness, self-awareness. And it's optimal growth is a balance of challenge and support. If you have that home run and everything's cured, well, there's no challenge. So there's no growth because you're living in a fantasy of all support. And if you are attached to that fantasy, it attracts an equal and opposite nightmare.
But exactly what you said before is, I kind of want to take this two ways, but you said the stock market, and what happens is that when we're having highs and lows, and this goes along with our health, this goes along with our finances, it goes along with a lot of different scenarios in life, is that we could tend to make decisions out of more desperation. So if you're a person who has been feeling like shit for a really, really, really long time, and you see that there might be an opportunity to shift that, then you're going to go for it because you're just so tired of being tired. You're so tired of feeling sick and tired. But when you take a step back from that, you're making a decision more out of desperation than inspiration. And you're hoping that this is going to solve all of your problems, and maybe not always looking at it from the perspective that this is going to have challenge and benefit. It's the same reason why people are selling when they're like, oh my gosh, the stock market is crashing. Now I need to sell. I need to get out of this. You're doing that out of desperation. You're doing it out of fear. You're not doing it out of inspiration. If you go and you start investing with the idea of, I know that there is going to be fluctuations because I've studied this, because I understand all the pieces, I understand the integration of how it all works, you're going to look at it from a different lens, and you're going to be less likely to make decisions out of desperation, which then can create long-term gain. So a lot of times it's very, very easy for us to default into those fears, which is then going to cause us to say, screw it, I'm going to go to that clinic for the $50,000 because they have the new whatever treatment that's supposed to heal X, Y, and Z. And then you make that investment and it maybe doesn't work out the way that you want it to. So we're more so here to tell you and talk to you guys about looking at this differently. We're not going to say you need to do this therapy, you need to do that therapy, because one, you're all extremely different. And what you said before has been something we have said for years. It's not about what you do, it's how you do it. Do you know how many people have come to our clinic or come to work with us in our model and they say, I've taken supplements before, it didn't work. I did infrared sauna, it didn't work. I did infrared red light therapy, it didn't work. I did lymphatic massage, it didn't work. And it's not that it didn't work, it's more so that you potentially didn't use it or do it at the right time or in the right combination. There are so many people that go and take supplements to detox because of something they saw online. And then they feel really sick going through the process, but they're told, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Just power through. And now they're 30 days in, 60 days in, 90 days in, and they don't feel better. And it's because they didn't have all of the pieces that worked together to make that supplement protocol a success. Because it wasn't about what they were doing. It was about how they were doing it. How were they bridging the gap and bringing all the pieces together that complement each other, that actually work with the exact systems of their body that need the most support. There is strategy that goes into all of this. This is the same reason why certain businesses fail and certain businesses succeed. It's not because one is better than the other. It's because one had a strategy that wasn't necessarily expecting the worst, but they were prepared for anything.
Well, and this is where it gets really difficult for the average person, and honestly, even the well-studied person. It's honestly, not going to jump right into it, but it's kind of why we created Inspo and the new product we're releasing, because like if you look at the stock market, as we were talking about, it's like, okay, you could study all these businesses and it's like, boom, like this business has crazy opportunity. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. It's very resilient. It has, the biggest aspect for increased margins, but that's just the cycle of that one business. Then you have to have the cycle of, is the reward that's going to happen? Yep. Is the central banking, are they printing money? Like, what's the job loss ratio? Like, mm-hmm. What are all these things? There's a lot of other cycles that are influencing how that business is going to do. Even if it's an amazing business, it's not in full control. There's a lot of other external elements that affect that. And the human body is the exact same way. It's like, I'm going to focus and I'm going to detox my liver. Fucking awesome. But guess what? There's a lot of other organ systems that are affecting the liver. Mm-hmm. And then there's the mind, which is a completely different entity that's going to affect the liver. Are you working on the self-talk? Are you working on all the past experiences that are still imbalance, that are challenging the health of the liver and the ability for it to release and detox and let go and not be angry and not have the resentment, etc. There's so many things that it actually gets like, well, I don't know what to do. Like, Jesus, like this is impossible.
But we had this conversation yesterday. The first aspect of this is awareness. So we have people that have been going through some of the new things that we created, our new products, Foundation, DNA Precision, and they're like, wow, there's so much in here to help me understand the mental and emotional things that I have maybe burrowed, or the understanding of what my dreams are telling me about my mental and emotional state. There's so much quality information about how the organs and the symptoms that I have, how that actually connects to imbalances in my mind or cycles that have been running, limiting beliefs that I have. And they're just like, wow, this is so much information. And I'm like, this isn't for you to act on every single aspect of this. But when you start to say detox your liver because you started your supplements and you started putting some red light over your liver, and all of a sudden you fucking lash out at your partner or your boss or whomever, you now have it in your awareness that your liver is not just about your liver. It's not because, you ate shit or you drank too much alcohol in college. Like, it's not just about that. It's about also the emotional layers that were burrowed in that organ. And now you know that, oh crap, is that because I'm not just detoxing on a physical level, I'm actually also detoxing out crap experiences that I've been holding for a really long time. And so we help people through these reports to say, don't try to fix all of this. It's just a matter of understanding what's really going on. What is the big picture that your labs never told you? And now when you're navigating this, you know, oh, wow, this was actually a good thing. This isn't me having a reaction. This is me releasing shit that no longer serves me. And I think that's a really, really powerful moment for people. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't have to, oh my God, I just lashed out. I need a new supplement for my anxiety. I need a new supplement for my anger. I need L-theanine, whatever. That's not, maybe you needed to do that.
Hey, quick pause before we dive back in. If what we're talking about today is hitting home, if you've been told your labs are normal, but you know something's off, we built something for you. It's called the Health Decode. It's a deep dive assessment, not a quiz, not a symptom checker. It's the intake I wish every doctor started with. We look at what conventional medicine was never trained to find. Stress patterns, biological conflicts, the stuff hiding behind the normal blood work. You'll get a personalized wellness report back from our team. And here's the thing, if it clicks, if you read it and think, finally, someone actually gets it, that $47 becomes a credit toward our foundation program. So you're not spending twice just taking the first step. No pressure, no countdown timer. Just if you're tired of being told you're fine when you know you're not, head over to Integrative You Health and check out the Health Decode. Links in the show notes. All right, let's get back into it.
And my second point here is that what you were saying before about the stock market and evaluating all these different aspects. One thing that I find with so many people through all the years we've been doing this is that they say, I'm in, I'm all in, I'm doing this. I'm going to do everything you want me to do. I'm going to do everything my report says to do. Okay, great. More importantly, how flexible are you in your life to navigate the challenges that arise through this healing process? People will say, oh, no, I'm flexible. I get it. I'm in this. I want to heal. And then they're like, I can't feel like this at work. I can't concentrate. Like, I'm not at my best. My sales were down because I don't feel good. And I'm like, this is what we're talking about. Because yes, I get it. You're a high performer. Yes, I get it. You're a high achiever. Yes, I get it. You got shit to do. Yes, I get it. You got kids, soccer practices and this and that. But you need to be a little flexible with, if you feel like shit or you're fucking raging and you need a minute, give yourself the permission or talk to your kids and say, if we miss a soccer practice this week, it's because mommy needs it, because daddy needs it. If you know that you're embarking on this and you run a business, the same way if like a woman or a man is like, they're going out maternity, paternity leave, like you make sure that you got some bases covered. Do the same. Make sure you delegate some things out. Delegate some things out in your house. Because guess what? If you don't, and you just get pissed, I need to be at my best. I need to do this. I need to do that. You're not healing. You're not healing in any capacity. So just don't even try. Don't waste your money on all the stuff, on all the biohacking, on all the protocols. Because if you don't even give yourself permission to take a pause or to rest, if you want to call yourself fucking lazy because you needed a nap, like, come on, people. That's not how any of this works. Be a little kind to yourself. Understand that what we believe of how we should function is how we've been programmed. This is not actually how anybody functions in most parts of the world. We live in Italy. People nap every fucking day here. They eat 3-hour lunches. And Americans will say, that's fucking insane. I could never. I ate standing up. I don't even know I drink a coffee and I eat a bite of something for lunch for like 10 years.
Well, and what's interesting is
that was not a real life thing to eat lunch.
They do that, but at the same time, nobody here takes supplements. Mm-hmm. Like, nobody. And if they do, it's zinc or elderberry.
I can't say they don't need them, but they don't need nearly as much.
Well, that's the thing is like, their tools are a more balanced lifestyle per se. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then Americans are an imbalanced lifestyle, but they're going to combat that with supplements or medication or bufa, or it's like, oh,
Yeah.
ketamine. I've been on too long. Now I'm going to be offline.
I like that you just mixed up plant medicine with Italian. Buffa means funny, and bufo is the actual.
Sorry, my language is not. So I think one of a big takeaway here is understanding it's the all or nothings that get us in trouble.
Yeah.
And if you're going into biohacking, if you're like all or nothing into it, like you're going to create more trouble. You're going to create more pain. And that's what I love about what we created is it gives you first off of what's most important in life is awareness. And like you said, you don't need to act on all of it. But what you do need to do is act on a balanced portion of it.
Micro-hacking.
Because that micro-hacking, that should be the title. Because that's what's actually going to give you the best results is I'm going to work a little bit on my liver. I'm going to work a little bit on my mind connected to my liver. I'm going to work on body movement that's actually going to help open up my liver meridian, my gallbladder meridian, breathing. I'm going to work a little bit on all these things, not a lot on just one single aspect. And
because then you crash and burn and do nothing.
Well, you also tend to feel more like shit too. Longer.
Yeah. But like we've had so many people that, you know, our practice has primarily been in New Jersey. We've worked with tons of people in New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And it's like very intense, high performer, busy achievers. And
what you talking about?
And that was decent.
Decent.
And then they will do I got 3 months, all or nothing. All right, now I'm done. And then we see them again a couple of months later, a year later, and they're back where they were. And, you know, this is more about the longevity of it. And it's about the micro hacking. And one of the things that you'll find, we have a whole course that we built called the Higher Self Architecture. And this is something that we've personally used in order to curate the life we actually really wanted, opposed to doing shit out of voids and desperation. And really what it came down to is 80% of how we were able to accomplish what we've accomplished was how we thought, changing how we thought about life, how we thought about goals, how we thought about being the best versions of ourselves, like truly aligning our mind to it, not allowing our mind to run these cycles in the back of, you'll never do that. You have to be in control. You have to have it all figured out. No, like that wasn't working for us. That's why we were like, well, we got to figure out a different way. And we studied all the ologies and we studied quantum physics. We studied energy. We studied all of it. And it pretty much was saying the same thing, that it's all up here. And 20% is actually what you do. So that's why we're calling this micro hacking, because if you focus 80% on shifting how you think about life, and I want to speak to the Italian lifestyle in a moment, and 20% is what you do, you actually will find that you get farther ahead. This is one of the reasons why Italians tend to be a bit healthier, is because 80% is about being more present in their life. They literally structure their lives, and it's actually a collective in the culture, because if you come here, all the restaurants everything is closed at lunchtime because people go to lunch. Everything is closed middle of the day because people go and they relax, they go sit, they go home, take a nap. I know this sounds fucking crazy, but it's collectively how they function.
Restaurants are closed between 2 and 4, 2 and 5.
So they could do the same thing. Everybody takes a vacation in August. So like they know that if you go out in a city, a lot of things are closed. So overall, their lifestyle is set up. So that's why 20% is about the doing. And a lot of them are not necessarily earning a lot. They're not high achievers, but they're not earning a lot because they don't need to spend so much money on all these lavish biohacking things. They're not always trying to find, what's going to fill the void. It's pretty wild. You go to the South, there's not a lot of money in the South, and people are just sitting outside on their front porch in the sun. They're sitting in the marina, just like having a panino that costs them €2, and they're happy with that. They're not I have to go on the yacht.
The view of Capri is not a bad place to sit and,
No.
chill
And
out.
listen, we're not saying, the Italians have it all figured out, because there's a lot of other health aspects that aren't working well. The point of what we're trying to say is that if you can focus on the awareness of understanding more about some of the patterns and cycles that are running in your mind that are holding you back, and you focus on more of this micro hacking idea, and 20% of what you do is really focused on, bettering your health, you're going to see that compound over time.
Can I give a little scientifical kind of analogy for this?
If you want to say scientifical again, because that's definitely not a word.
Scientifical. I'm very, yeah, my brain's firing on 100% right now. So you talked about 80% thinking and 20% doing. And most people are like, yeah, that sounds great. I've heard manifesting, I've heard all this bullshit before. But that's tends to be all or nothing. It's like, manifest this by 100% thinking, but there's no doing. And that's the same bullshit that, you're just going to take supplements and it's all going to work out. But the reason you have to have that quality thinking is your thoughts are actually what creates how you feel. Mm-hmm. And on the quantum realm, it's your feeling, it's the vibration that sends out the frequency that actually attracts your reality back to you. That's the quantum kind of, not woo-woo, but the woo-woo analogy. But you think about feelings of, okay, well, if I feel stressed, it's going to change this biochemistry. If I feel broken down, if I feel grief, if I feel all these different emotions, it's actually going to trigger the body's response to have a neurological change, which is going to create a biochemical change, which is then we do labs and we find out that, oh, this is too high or this is too low. I need to take supplements. I need to take medication. I need to do this and that. But that's the end of the road. That's the last thing to change.
Yep.
So why are we putting so much energy to the last thing that's broken down? You should actually be spending 8% of what actually created that change, which is the mind, the thought process, the beliefs. And you change those thoughts and beliefs, that changes the feelings. That's already going to change the biochemistry and how the nervous system is firing and wiring. Mm-hmm. So this is to actually help people left brain understand that what you're saying is actually grounded in science. And that's what the two main products of the foundation and the DNA testing that we created through Inspo gives you this awareness, and 80% is built to help you gain awareness of what created those imbalances of the thoughts and the beliefs. There's different courses and meditations, and there's an AI coach to help you go through for guidance to rewire and up-level those beliefs and thought processes.
But if you don't know what they are, you don't know what they are. I think the hardest thing that for me to wrap my head around in the beginning, and now I feel like it still fascinates me on a day-to-day basis. But when we are feeling a physical symptom, which you could hear it in my voice, I've been coughing things up and sinuses have been draining. And I said to Nick yesterday, I said, what I'm experiencing right now, 99.9% of people would just say, oh, I have a little cold. Oh, I have a little sinus infection. And because of a process that I'm going through, I'm aware that this is not that. This is a release of things that I've been holding in my body that have been oriented around fear and grief. And the thing that's been really interesting is that I've been paying a lot of attention to my dreams and waking up and using the Inspo app to interpret them. And it's been showcasing the very things that my subconscious has been trying to process that I've been holding for years through all different aspects, from work-related things, the losing my identity through the shift in the business, to the amount of stress and fear, even while I was going through school, thinking that I wasn't going to make it or graduate. It's so many things that I don't think about on a regular basis that I had no idea were still affecting me in different ways. And I say this to you guys just to understand that the physical symptoms that you feel are actually, when you're physically feeling them, it means that you're actually in the process of releasing and healing from those things. But if you don't have it in your awareness, or you don't have the right practices to bring it to your awareness, then the cycle kind of keeps running. And every couple of weeks, every couple of months, you get the sinus thing again, or you get the stomach thing again. So these are feedback mechanisms to help you process things that your body wants to eliminate, wants to purge. But if you don't know how to navigate it, you don't know how to understand it, you don't know what it's telling you, you get stuck. And that was our very, very goal with creating what we've created through Foundation, which are giving you these very highly personalized reports that are helping you understand all of the physicality and physiological aspects of your health, while also helping you understand the mental and emotional layers of your health. And then giving you very specific tools inside of our Inspo app of how to do that micro hacking to start healing, to start thinking differently, to start overcoming shit that's been holding you back.
It all comes to the end goal of a state of empowerment, and that's health. It's, if you take a supplement and you feel good for a while, like, awesome, like, use that, but it's not going to be sustainable if you actually didn't become empowered in that process, in that journey. Same thing with a dream. If you have a dream and you're releasing and you're processing to the unconscious, subconscious level, great. But if you don't use that, like you said, it stays part of that same cycle. So you have to gain the awareness, learn how to use it, and that's what transcends it. That's what creates empowerment, is transcending. It's the foundation of alchemy, turning lead into gold. It's not really a physical thing, is what they practiced on the spiritual, mental level, to be able to turn these mental thought processes, beliefs, and to transform them into something that's actually empowering. And when you do that, that's sustainable, because guess what? You changed. The belief changed. The thought changed. And then the feeling changed.
Mm-hmm. The last thing that we'll leave you guys with is, when you're experiencing poor health or physical symptoms, what you have to understand is that this isn't just about your health, or thinking there's something wrong with your genetics or your family history is creeping up on you. This is a sign that something is imbalanced in your life. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with your health. Oh, you're not eating good enough. Oh, you're not working out enough. You can very much be experiencing things in your physical health because you're so sick and tired of what you do for a living in your career or your job, or you're dying to do something different in your business and you're too scared to do it. You have relationships in your life that are no longer serving you. You just feel stuck in certain aspects. So you have to understand that you have to ask better questions, because it's not, your health symptoms are not siloed to your biology. What we're trying to tell you is that it's the grand scheme of all aspects of your life. And there's something that's not working, that's something not working for you. There's something imbalanced. There's somewhere you feel stuck or unfulfilled. And your physical body is showcasing that. And so this is not just about better health. This is about a better life, a better existence, not feeling stuck in a life that you don't like. And that's been my personal mission into why I do what I do. and also why we have created products to try to allow more people to have more access to this type of work. Okay, that's it, Nick. Bye.
Boom, mic drop.
Thank you for being here with us today. Remember, this isn't about telling you what to think. It's about giving you something worth thinking about. If this episode shifted your perspective, share it with someone who needs it, because they won't hear this in a waiting room. Subscribe, leave a review, and if you're ready to stop guessing and start transforming, head to integrativeyou.health. We'll see you next time. Stay curious, my black sheep.